Palestinians! Stop bombing Gaza!
I'm being held for the sign that I'm carrying, talking about the martyrs in Palestine and how they inspire us to take the streets every weekend against genocide, against Zionism, against the murder of innocent women, men and children living in an apartheid state who just want freedom.
You know what they've said regarding holding you here? Have you been arrested?
Nothing yet, I'm just being held. They've asked me to voluntarily give up my sign. I said I'm not giving it up unless they force me to. They're holding me for the triangle at the bottom. They're interpreting it how they want to interpret it. They're going to listen to what they're being told by other people. But just last weekend, or the weekend before last, sorry, I'm walking down the streets and my wife is getting racially abused by Israeli supporters in front of police officers, and they didn't do a single thing about it. They were shouting it as loud as they possibly could and the police stood there and did nothing. But as I walked down this street with this sign, they've singled me out and they've pulled me over here and they're treating me like a criminal.
Have they said anything regarding the triangle? Against the law, anything like that?
They're trying to check and see if it is against any law, as they believe that I am endorsing Hamas. They can take it as they will, but at the end of the day, it's a red triangle, it's not a crime. There's no law against it. That's it, brother. Free Palestine, always.
Thank you, Bill. That red triangle used to be on the Channel 4 when there used to be some explicit sexual stuff. Maybe that's what it's about.
I'm not even sure we've arranged civil speech yet, to be honest.
As we're walking past the Zionist supporters, they're racially abusing people around me.
Yeah, I know, yes.
In front of the police, and the police did nothing.
That's provocative.
It'll change.
That placard, they'll get thrown out. This is a serious own goal, mate. Serious own goal by you.
The fact that I'm being arrested, that means I've been doing something right. I'm doing something right.
Placard that they've arrested him for.
Out the road,
Yeah.
lots of cars, thank you.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Education, impossible. Universities, all wrong. Work, impossible. The whole
Hi, my name's Yiz from Novo. I'm at today's protest for Palestine because despite it being weeks and months, we've seen over 37,000 Palestinians be killed. We've seen over 17,000 children being killed, and Palestinians still don't have their freedom. So as long as they don't have their freedom, as long as Palestinian-led marches like this are continuing, then I think it's our duty, it's our moral duty to stand with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Well, I've seen a YouTube video that describes it as perhaps a loveless majority. And maybe that sums it up the best way, because you have, of course, 412 seats, but at the same time, you have a situation where the vote share has gone down from 2019 and from 2017. And you have a situation where less than 40% of the population have voted for a party that has over 60% of the seats. So, yes, things will change. Of course, everything changes year by year, day by day. There might be more workers' rights. There might be more rights in certain areas, but these are rights that people have fought for. And in order to protect the rights that people have and to get more rights, then people will have to keep fighting. They'll have to keep struggling, whether it's a Labour government, a Conservative government. People have seen now the performance of Reform Party, where they got over 4 million votes. And it's important that people recognise not just perhaps the threat that represents, say, to our immigrant sisters and brothers and others, but also recognise where that frustration, where that anger comes from, and present for people an alternative solution to right-wing populism. And to do that, you have to be able to articulate a vision of hope, positive vision based on our shared humanity, the things that unite us, not the things that divide us. We know that previously Labour has said that they support a ceasefire, but we know that it's not an unconditional ceasefire, so that's the first issue. Secondly, we know that Starmer has run on his record as a human rights lawyer, and yet at the same time, he doesn't support necessarily a trade embargo, an arms embargo with the Israeli government. That's another thing. And then thirdly, Starmer, there have been rumblings that he might delay the recognition of a Palestinian state because of the United States and pressure from them. But if you're somebody who stands by your principles, then if you change them for anybody, as Nelson Mandela said, that's not the kind of person who can be a leader of a nation. So these are the three questions that I think, yes, Keir Starmer will need to answer, the Labour government will need to answer, but more than that, for people who believe in those things as solutions to the suffering of Palestinians, they have to make their case. They have to be the advocates, because if they don't, then who will?